The modern world often insists we smile, even when we're breaking inside. Good vibes only, they say, as if reality should be filtered like a social media post. But life isn't just sunshine and success. It's loss, frustration, failure, discomfort, and pretending those things don't exist doesn't make us stronger. It makes us disconnected. It's here that the ancient philosophy of Stoicism offers a profound and honest alternative. Stoicism doesn't ask us to be falsely cheerful. It asks us to be real. To see things as they are, not as we wish them to be. While toxic positivity blinds us with illusions, Stoicism trains us to face truth, build resilience, and cultivate real inner peace, even amid suffering. Let's begin with a basic understanding. Toxic positivity is the obsessive promotion of positive thinking, to the point that it dismisses or invalidates real emotions. It's the "just be grateful" comment said to someone who's grieving. It's telling a person to look on the bright side when they're going through trauma. It's not positivity itself that's the problem. It's the forced denial of anything uncomfortable. It's the subtle message that negative emotions make you weak, that struggling makes you broken, that expressing pain means you're not trying hard enough. This mindset creates a culture of suppression. A place where people wear masks, pretend they're fine, and internalize their suffering in silence. Underneath the smile lies a quiet erosion of emotional integrity. Now contrast that with Stoicism. At its core, Stoicism is brutally honest. It doesn't sugarcoat life. It doesn't promise a happy ending. It doesn't run from discomfort. Instead, it trains us to meet adversity with clear eyes and a steady heart. Marcus Aurelius, one of the greatest Roman Stoics, wrote in his private journal, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do, say, and think." These are not the words of someone chasing happiness. They are the words of someone trying to live meaningfully in the face of death, loss, and uncertainty. He didn't avoid the negative. He embraced it as a teacher. Toxic positivity whispers, "Everything happens for a reason." Stoicism replies, "You may never know the reason, but you can choose your response." It teaches you that control is limited to your mind, your judgments, and your actions. Everything else, your reputation, your wealth, your body, even the love of others, can change in an instant. This philosophy doesn't demand a smile. It demands strength. Take Epictetus, a former slave who became one of the most influential Stoic thinkers. He didn't preach happiness. He preached mastery over one's internal world. "It's not events that disturb us, but our opinions about them," he said. That's not an invitation to ignore hardship. It's an invitation to see that suffering intensifies when we resist what already is. Life brings pain. The Stoic doesn't deny it. He accepts it and focuses on what he can shape, his thoughts, choices, and attitude. Now let's look at how toxic positivity shows up in our lives. You lose a job, and someone says, "It's probably for the best." You go through a breakup, and they say, "At least you learned something." You're struggling with anxiety, and you're told, "Just think positive." These responses are meant to be comforting, but they rarely are. Why? Because they jump over the reality of your pain. They treat discomfort as a glitch to fix, not a message to listen to. Over time, this creates guilt and isolation. You feel like you're not allowed to feel bad, even when things are bad. Stoicism approaches it differently. It doesn't rush to cover pain with platitudes. It doesn't say, "Cheer up." It says, "Sit with it. Learn from it. Then act with reason." If you're grieving, Stoicism doesn't tell you to stay strong in the modern sense. It tells you to grieve fully, but not become lost in the grief. To weep if you must, but not abandon your principles. To hurt, but not to hate. This balance is what makes Stoicism both realistic and empowering. It doesn't trap you in suffering, but it refuses to lie to you. Another difference is how both systems handle failure. Toxic positivity says, "There are no failures, only lessons." While well-meaning, this phrase denies the very real emotional impact of failing. Sometimes failure cuts deep. Sometimes it shakes your identity. Stoicism agrees that we can learn, but it doesn't pretend the pain isn't real. Seneca, another great Stoic, once said, "Fire tests gold. Adversity tests men." He didn't say adversity disappears if you smile enough. He said it tests you. It reveals your character. But first, you must feel it. Now let's talk about emotional authenticity. Toxic positivity often demands that you suppress your emotions for the sake of maintaining a cheerful atmosphere. In workplaces, relationships, and even therapy sessions, people hesitate to express sadness, anger, or fear. But Stoicism teaches you to investigate your emotions, not hide them. If you feel angry, ask why. If you're anxious, ask what you're attached to. Emotions aren't enemies. They're signals. To suppress them is to blind yourself. To observe them, as the Stoics did, is to gain wisdom. Stoicism doesn't fear emotion, it filters it through reason. Another trap of toxic positivity is perfectionism. You're expected to rise and grind, be productive, smile, journal, meditate, and always glow with inner peace. But the Stoics knew that perfection is an illusion. Marcus Aurelius admitted to his own failures. Epictetus said, "If you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid." Stoicism isn't about looking good, it's about being good. Even if it's messy. Even if no one applauds. The problem with toxic positivity is that it creates pressure to maintain a false front. Stoicism gives you permission to drop the act. It says, be real. If you're angry, learn to respond, not react. If you're tired, rest with dignity, not guilt. If you're broken, build yourself anew, not through denial, but through conscious, courageous self-work. This path is harder, but it's true. And truth heals far more than feel-good lies. Now let's consider how these philosophies apply to relationships. Toxic positivity can be deeply damaging in close relationships. It turns conversations into performance. When someone shares vulnerability, the toxically positive person responds with clichés instead of empathy. Just be happy. Don't think like that. These responses shut people down. But a Stoic-inspired response is rooted in presence. It might be, this pain is real. But it's not all of you. Let's sit with it. Stoic compassion isn't loud, it's deep. It doesn't fix. It understands. In parenting too, we often teach kids to stay strong, don't cry, or be brave, phrases that unintentionally encourage emotional suppression. A Stoic parent would teach the child to name their emotions, question them, and learn from them. Not to fear them. Because emotional awareness is not weakness, it's wisdom. And that's what Stoicism ultimately offers, wisdom. Not quick fixes. Not shallow affirmations. But a framework for engaging with reality in all its beauty and brutality. Social media is another domain where toxic positivity thrives. Feeds full of perfect lives, relentless motivation, and endless gratitude posts can leave people feeling inadequate. Everyone is posting wins. No one is posting breakdowns. In this environment, Stoic wisdom is revolutionary. It reminds us that appearances are illusions. That virtue matters more than validation. That peace comes not from being seen, but from being rooted in your values. You don't need to convince the world you're okay. You need to be okay with not convincing the world. Stoicism also provides tools, practical ones. The practice of negative visualization helps you prepare for loss by imagining it in advance. The dichotomy of control teaches you to separate what you can control from what you can't. Journaling helps examine your thoughts without judgment. These tools don't just distract you from pain. They help you engage with it, intelligently, patiently, and courageously. Contrast that with the tools of toxic positivity, vision boards, mantras, fake it till you make it slogans. These things may motivate temporarily, but they rarely build depth. When the storm hits, these fragile tools crack. Stoic tools endure. Because they are forged not in fantasy, but in reality. The Stoics also teach that it's okay not to be okay, and still remain whole. That even a life of struggle can be a good life, if it's lived with virtue. That discomfort doesn't mean failure. It means growth. While toxic positivity tells you to escape, Stoicism tells you to endure. With grace. With strength. With eyes wide open. So what do we choose? A life of constant performance, where discomfort is denied and masked? Or a life of conscious realism, where discomfort is understood and used as a stepping stone? The Stoics chose the latter. They didn't smile through storms. They walked through them, calmly. They didn't chase happiness. They cultivated character. And perhaps most importantly, they didn't pretend life was fair or easy. They acknowledged that suffering is part of the human condition. And they still found peace, not in ignoring the bad, but in embracing the full spectrum of experience. That's not cold. That's not pessimistic. That's powerful. So the next time you're tempted to tell someone, or yourself, to just be positive, pause. Ask, what would a Stoic do? The answer isn't to fake a smile. It's to meet the moment with honesty, courage, and calm. That's how you build strength. Not by avoiding the dark, but by learning to see in it. Because in the end, Stoicism isn't about denying joy. It's about making it real. It's not about pretending things are okay. It's about becoming the kind of person who can be okay, no matter what. And that is freedom.